Anticipation is mounting for today's game. And we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's the Bengals going up against the Texans. With that, let's get on out to Houston. We're standing by as... Our commentary team, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
The play clock's running down. Snap came at 1. Now here's Dalton. Well, he's going to take a shot right away. He's got a man complete. And they got 29 yards there. And the Bengals are going to have a first down. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, gets stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
Give him 11 on the gain there, and it'll give the Bengals a first down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, they can make someone miss in the open field.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Dalton now to pass. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. In the backfield out of the starting group, you have to look out for Giovanni Bernard.
And you have to make sure you're ready to hit the spin button with this guy. Awfully exciting in the open field.
3 yards left to grab here on third down. Dalton gives to Bernard. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And look at this. They're keeping the punter on the sideline. They're going to go for it here on the opening drive. They'll try to pass on 4th down. Dalton, he's got his man here. It's Green. Give him 9 on the play, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
There's nothing like getting out of the gate and finding your favorite target. Andy Dalton just did that with A.J. Green.
And some people call that a nice fantasy football connection as well.
Yeah, they're piling up the points that way, and they want to see that continue.
And the D looking like they may blitz. Time running out here on the play clock. They'll run it here with Bernard. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
Jadeveon Clowney was the #1 pick in the NFL draft, and it was with good reason. An absolute athletic freak. Now he's trying to add consistency to his game.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. He drops it off for Bernard. And down inside the 15 he goes. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Dalton operating in the red zone now. This will be caught just inside the 10. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
Halfback sent in motion. They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
So play number 10 now coming. It's been a long opening drive, but this is 3rd down. Play clock winding down. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. So play number 10 now coming. It's been a long opening drive, but this is 3rd down. They look to throw on 3rd with Dalton. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Very tough spot here for the offense to start. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
There are so many times during camp and practice that you get bored as a player doing regular drills. But how about that shed and skate drill right there by the linebacker? You do it each and every day. Get the blocker away and get into the backfield and make a big-time tackle. That's what we just saw.
Out of his end zone, Mariota. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And it looks like the offense did get the football back, but it is clearly in that end zone, and it's going to be a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
The Bengals getting set to go. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Carry for Bernard. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
2nd down, Dalton. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. It'll be a gain of 4, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. 3rd down from the gun, Dalton. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Now the Bengals will settle for 3 as the field goal unit comes on here. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. Mariota now on second down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. So incomplete on second down. Now they'll look to convert here on third. On third down, Mariota. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
They go play action here on first down. And his throw here is incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Throwing again. Mariota on second and 10. His throw caught at about the 5. 11 yards for number 11. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
In motion left, the tight end. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have taken the lead. Jason Myers now for the extra point. And now it's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is and now look at him go. The 40, past the 20, and he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And to the right side here is Allen. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And that is Allen, still down following the play. Appears to be shaken up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And they're definitely showing blitz here. First and 10 for Dalton. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. It's a gain of 24 that time. And the Bengals are going to have a 1st down. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And Howland Sink was the quarterback in his center on.
Trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. Accelerating, and off he goes. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. So a dangerous pass over the middle into zone coverage, and it bit him hard.
And what's really difficult when you throw it in that direction and versus that zone, that means the linebackers have gotten to their spot, gotten their heads back around, and they can see the quarterback and everything in front of them. And they took big advantage of it, went the other direction, excellent blocking, and picked up a touchdown.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really...
Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. Third and long. What will Dalton dial up? Buying time to his left. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Take it at the 37. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And the Texans take possession. And now out comes Houston. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now a handoff as they run left side. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The offensive line and its ability to open holes in this defensive front, something they were confident they could create in this game. Got the job done there, picked up the first.
And something they wanted to do. Have we ever met offensive linemen that don't want to fire out and hit people? I mean, they love the running game. Guys want to do that, and when you emphasize it, practice it, and work on it, that gives you an opportunity during the game.
First down, Mariota to the left side here for Eifert. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 12 yards on the pickup, and it'll give the Texans a first down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And some space here. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee. And that's at the 25. And out now, here come the Bengals. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The drive starts with a handoff to Bernard. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And they're going to speed things up here.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one. We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First-level defensive line, second-level linebackers, third-level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Fakes the give to Bernard. Dalton. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Aaron Donald in there to sack him. And that is 10 for him now on the year. The Bengals bring out their punter now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away. And boy, it's another boomer. Taking it about the 16. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Houston. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Play action. It comes, and he lost the football. Murray, and nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Cincinnati touchdown. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Mariota now to throw on first down. Being chased out left. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 7 yards on the play, and it's a second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Now a second down throw for Mariota. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. And his kick is right there. It's good. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we send you on over to Orlando, where we'll check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Larry? The kicking team out now for the Bengals as they'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. They go play action here on first down. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. A gain of 39 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
A first down throw for Mariota. And this is caught at the 8. Touchdown, Houston. Dorial Green Beckham, his first touchdown on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Mariota will throw it. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
He's going to rifle one deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Dalton sets up play action. Got a man, that's complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
And looking at Houston defensively, they've got a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd. 3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. There he goes left side. The 20. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. This is Hillman on 1st and 10. And he's brought down. It'll go as a gain of 12. And it'll give the Bengals a 1st down.
But we just saw him run the football really effectively there with 3 tight ends in the game. And any defensive coordinator, when they see that set, if they can get more bodies out onto the field, not more than 11, of course, but bigger bodies to combat what they're going to do, because that's a run-heavy formation. Those guys are out there to block 9 times out of 10, and in this case, they did it really successfully.
Hillman again, a 1st down carry. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
second down. Dalton. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And now the rookie's free. And they will score a pick six for the Texans TD. So a pick six there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick six going the other way.
And that'll increase their lead to 28. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule. He's taken down right at the 20-yard line. They come out here in the eye. And they'll go on the ground. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Now a handoff here to his running back. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And this defense looks for one more stop here on third after the run. The first throw here for the backup Garoppolo. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And they get 10 yards there and convert on third.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there are more people there to get him down.
On first down, Garoppolo. Flushed out right. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Offense working with a 3rd and 13 still left. On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Surveying the field. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. 26 yards on the play there. And on 4th and long, somehow they're able to keep the drive going. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
A gain of 6 there on first.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo. He drops it off for Bernard. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that flag was coming. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Defense showing blitz. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4. On the stop was Aaron Donald.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Second down following the run. On second down, here's Garoppolo. Underneath, this is Bernard. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Bengals use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Now for the point after. And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. They come out here in the eye. And they'll run it here. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll cut it to the right sideline. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, plenty of credit has to go to the guy carrying the ball. He broke the tackle and gained the yardage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the defender's bad. They're not going to make 100% of the tackles all the time. Even the best in the game will miss one occasionally. The key is not to let it snowball and miss tackle after tackle. On that play, credit to the offense, but that doesn't make the defense bad.
And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. Mariota on first down. Going to throw right side here, complete. 12 yards on the pickup, and the Texans are going to have a first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
They go play action here on first down. He was looking for Dorial Green-Beckham. That'll bring up second down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it. what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Throwing again. Mariota on 2nd and 10. That is incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. He's dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. So now on 4th down, Mike McCarthy will turn to his field goal unit. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. And they're going to come up empty here on 4th down. Well, one of the few things that's gone right for them. Likely a little too late, but maybe a little feather in their cap.
I think so, and to me, they played that play without looking at the scoreboard, without worrying about where they were in the score, because things haven't gone right, as you noted, for them much of this game. But they gave great effort there and picked up a defense that's had its share of troubles in this one. In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And now they're in the hurry-up. From midfield, here's Garoppolo. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Some
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You know, always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost, so.
It does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up, because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to the stretch? And guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did, because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
Let's go, Stans! Make some noise! 3. Kill. Turn
2nd down, Mariota. This one complete, left side to Green Beckham. And he's brought down after a good game. 23 yards on the play.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
3.
They'll come out in the pistol, and they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
2nd down, they'll try and run the counter. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. With 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. So oftentimes you see defensive holding. Here it's offensive holding for the flag. He lost 9 there. That's really going to set him back for second down. Mariota now. Caught Eifert over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. And now a first down following that long gain. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? Mariota here to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Given 5 on the play there. And it's good enough for a Houston first down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Vontez Burfict, the outside linebacker, drops him for a loss of 6. Now a second down throw for Mariota. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Their big-bodied receiver. His first touchdown on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. And that'll increase their lead to 28. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. A big play there out of the running game. 32 yards. So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set.
All right, here we go. Green.
Now a play fake here on first down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And they're going to bring him down. Back across midfield at the 45. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack. Although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't, because you're not afforded total protection as a quarterback. You have to get outside of the tackle boxes as defined by the NFL, meaning wherever your tackles operate normally, get outside of that. And the ball that you throw has to get back to at least the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you face an intentional grounding call.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Now Garoppolo, got to have this one. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Texans, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Jaguars will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at EASports.com. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.